Mark, we know that you are not the typical CEO. You're very different than the people who run other big Fortune 500 companies. So from that perspective, what do you think it takes? What are the qualities of a great leader?
What people want, and the rank and file of most corporations, is they want leaders that are approachable, are honest, take personal accountability, are selfless for the overall enterprise's good, and are willing to make the tough decisions. Now, not everybody will like you every day, but if you're honest and transparent, if you take personal accountability and you are selfless, they will follow you through anything.
And as a CEO, you talk also a lot about doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts about that when it comes to leadership?
Well, too often corporations manage by the spreadsheet. So what do the numbers say? And then we call the numbers truth, when really they're just a set of assumptions. And instead of looking at the assumptions and saying, what do we need to believe as a leadership team that this risk is worth taking on behalf of all that we're trying to accomplish as a company? And having what do we need to believe conversations versus what's the proof and what's the truth is really how do you get to doing the right thing versus doing things right.
So how are you cultivating this philosophy and this brand of leadership at Aetna?
When you've said it so many times you could throw up, you're about halfway there. So you have to repeat it over and over and over again. You have to walk the talk. You have to demonstrate it through the decisions you make. You have to have frank conversations with people. You have to take your personal hits when you're not as accountable as you thought you were. You have to be approachable, and you have to take the time to spend time with people and hear what they have to say.
So looking at how you're trying to develop this kind of leadership in your company, what do you look for? What are the qualities when you're hiring somebody?
Managerial courage and selflessness. Those are the two things. That's the it factor. When it's time to put yourself at risk for the enterprise or for others, and you have to have the courage to make the decisions that may or may not be popular, that's when you really determine whether or not you're a leader. And those are usually in the toughest parts of our decision making, not in the easy stuff.
Is this different than what you were looking for, let's say, 15 years ago?
Definitely. It's different than what the employees were looking for. They know what they want and what other people have, and so we have to live to a higher standard, and it's not just the one we think we should have.
You've had a very long and interesting career. I just want to ask you, what's the best advice that you've ever gotten on the subject of leadership? What does it take to be a good leader?
Assume positive intent in everything everyone does. And when you don't see it, stop yourself and look back and say, what is it that that person's trying to teach me that I don't yet understand?